Alrighty. Hey, it's Matt, Blind Guys Garage. So today, it's quite obvious what we're doing. We're working on a Jeep. We're got fluids already draining under it, as you can tell. And we have a brand new motor sitting right here in this crate. So, if all goes as planned, we'll be done with this thing today. If not, it'll be early tomorrow. So, we will start tearing into it. I've got the oil drained out of, or draining out of it. Got the coolant draining out of it. As you can see, the nice stream of coolant. Not really coolant, water, but yeah, who counts? And that's it. I'll bring you back for some key stuff, and when it's time to pull the motor, we'll set you up on a tripod. Hope y'all enjoy it. All right, yeah, so here we are. Everything we've done so far is extremely simple. We've got the radiator out, 4 10mm bolts, fan off, 4 13mm or 1/2" bolts, power steering pump off. This is the easy one, the 98 to 04, I think. One of these has like 12 brackets. This one has one. It is 3 9/16/14 headed bolts and 3 1/2" /13mm headed bolts. And all that just falls apart, nice and easy. I just hang the power steering pump. It'll hang down there for now until we're done. Now we got to pull the AC off. We've got all the water hoses disconnected from the motor. So that's it. That's that. I mean, all this is very simple stuff so far. These Jeeps aren't that bad. All right. Well, I've done a lot today. So all the wiring's gone. We got it tucked over there like we always do. The throttle cables are gone. They're tucked over there like I always tuck them. I went on the bottom, and oh yeah, as you can see, the power steering pump is off and it's hanging. The AC compressor's off and it's hanging. I believe the alternator, I don't believe it. The alternator is off. See, this sits right here, and when you go to pull the motor, you have to tuck this over to the side just a little bit, and then the alternator bracket right there will clear. If you look down there, you can see the alternator bracket. Then that'll clear. And I've already went under and did the torque converter bolts and all but 2 transmission bolts. So, and everything's loose. Motor mounts are loose. Trans bolts are loose. So I mean, I should be done, minus this fuel line I'm about to pop loose. So out of curiosity, I'm just curious if I can do it one-handed. So you take the little disconnector, cheap ones. It goes right here. Where's the fuel line? There it is. Slides over the fuel line. So you push the line in, squeeze the disconnector to it, and just pull. Look at that. Fuel line come right loose, just like it's supposed to. So we'll put that back up. Out of curiosity, it smells great. All right, next is the trans has been out of this thing at some point because all the trans bolts were decently loose, not loose, but free. Nothing was seized. The motor mount bolts, on the other hand, that's a different story. Those jokers and everything related to the engine itself that hasn't been off has been brutal. So, I guess that's it. I got one 10mm right here to pull, so I can pull this line off the intake. And I'm going to attempt to pull this thing with the intake and exhaust still attached, because if you've ever done one of these, you know getting to these intake bolts is the worst part of the whole deal. In this truck, probably won't be so bad, but I'm going to try it this way, see how it goes. Bring y'all back when we go to pull it or whatever. I'm probably about to go eat first, and I don't know if I'm going to come back out to the shop tonight. I've been busy all day, so yeah, it's almost 7 o'clock. I may or may not come back out. We'll see. So bring it back in the near future. Alrighty. Alrighty, we're back. So, finger it. We're ready to pull this motor. So, one of the worst parts about these Jeeps, when people do this to them, is this big stinger. It's kind of in the way. Luckily, it's not too much in the way. It looks like my hoist is going to end up right about where I want it. I've actually got it farther in than where I need it, so that's good. I got the trans disconnected. It's sitting on a trans jack. If you lean under here, we can see the trans jack hanging out under there. I've got all the converter bolts out. I've got the motor mount bolts loose, so when I pick some weight off of them, I'll pull them. And if I did everything correctly, it should come straight out. I'm sure there'll be something connected, because there always is. So here we go. All right, time to pull it. I'm going to go ahead and apologize for cursing and swearing if any happens. All right, the engine is out. Now, for the prep. What I do with these, it's not always really gonna matter, is I typically take the box lid, I flip it upside down, and I'll set the old motor in there to keep from making this giant mess. But I might have already done that, so. Alright, so engine's out. I just got it sitting in the box lid. Just put a little pressure on the lid, but it's taking some of the pressure off my hoist. It just keeps it from tipping over, keeps it from dumping fluids everywhere. My dumb ass made a major mess. So, take a look at this disaster. Alright, antifreeze on the floor, and yes, the wiring harness hooked a little bit and pulled the trans dipstick up. So yeah, nice mess under it too. And the worst part is, I got no oil dry right now. That's my dumbass fault. So, I'm gonna figure out what I'm gonna do to clean this giant mess up, and I'll bring y'all back. Alrighty, well, today's been a rough day. We got the blood bath cleaned up for the most part. There's still a little trans fluid under the transmission jack. Not a big deal. We'll clean it up when we pull the trans jack out, but we got all the mess cleaned up, the big portion. We got the old motor sitting in this old crate. And the new motor is also sitting in the crate. So, what we're going to do is, I'm going to call it a day. I have successfully sprayed myself with antifreeze. I was looking at my sister's car and a line blew right in my face. Luckily it didn't burn me, but that's why I'm covered up in spots and speckles. So, yeah, that's what we're going to call it for now. That would be a good thing to have on camera, I'm assuming. But so we're going to call it here. Tomorrow, I'll come out. We'll get this motor put together and get it ready to go in the Jeep. And hopefully, if all goes as planned, put it in the Jeep as well. So it is nice that the intake and all is off on here. So we'll see how that goes in putting it back together. It came out decently. The only thing I had problems with was the main harness here was hooking on the mid plate. And the dipstick pulled with the main harness and caused a bloodbath of trans fluid. So there's what she looks like without one. This is how I pull them. Set the AC compressor to the side over here. Just tuck it, and once it clears the motor mounts, let it dangle. Power steering pump pulls all the way to the front, and you won't have a problem with it after you get it out. So there's that. And then all the wiring goes over there, and then you have to disconnect the one throttle linkage line off the whole bracket set, and it tucks over here out of the way. And it gives you plenty of room to get everything in and out. And that was the first time I've pulled one with the intake still on it, which honestly is going to make my life so much easier whenever I go to take that stuff off. Because I'll pull it off, set it to the side with the bolts and all. You'll see. So I'll do that tomorrow. So bring you back later. Hope y'all enjoyed it. Y'all have a good one.